Is that like what you learned? Did you learn that like black people are irresponsible and they're lazy and this and that? Like, or was it less direct than that, or was it what like
Yes, it was more indirect. Yeah, I think it was more that like the what separates winners and losers kind of terminology. The yeah, the winners and losers kind of terminology, that like the reason all of these people experience this stuff is because they don't do winner stuff. And so it was really positioned to me like you're capable, you're here with us, and you can do winter stuff, and so that'll make you really different. um and yeah, so yes,
that's
definitely.
interesting? Like, so I guess this next question it kind of goes into that, which is what makes people reject their humanity besides white supremacy, if anything. And I think that feeling like you're a winner, feeling like you're a winner and these other people are losers, that can make you definitely reject aspects of your humanity. If that becomes like your identity, right? Being above
Yeah,
people, then
and from my perspective it wasn't mine, right? Like I am this color, if you know, if that's what we're saying, like especially to me as a child, like I recognize that you see me and you think that I'm this bad thing, but I'm not part of that bad thing. And so that isn't me, is really the perspective I came from. So I wasn't rejecting my own humanity, I was rejecting the humanity of others. That in being an exception, I was sort of pulled out from what I might have been if I were more influenced by lesser people. And so, yeah, I mean that's the mentality I had toward folks the whole time. When I was younger, in fact, I mean, I didn't understand the hierarchy in such a way that when like I understood that black was like the bad thing, but I didn't understand like people of color, and the hierarchy in between. And so I thought, like if I could be anything other than black, I would be Asian because at least I would still have some flavor. And so I really didn't, to me, that wasn't about the hierarchy. That was really about this like winner loser thing, and that some people are falling on one side of the line more often than the others. And the particular reasons for that didn't get built in until later. But I think that I definitely experienced the cognitive dissonance and the places where things broke up a little bit, the dots that were later able to be connected when I got to high school and kind of realized that some of the underlying assumptions feed some of the other underlying assumptions, things like that um, black people not having access to education. And so, we're calling people stupid based on, this actual thing that happened. But you don't know the thing happened, so you just think the people are stupid. And that feeds itself, because the further you get away from the reality of what happened to cause this um, difference in education, um, the more you think it's just the people. And the same with crime, and the same with housing, and like when you think of all of those things individually, you understand that people don't see the whole picture because they haven't been given the whole picture. They've been given steps away from the picture that were, and all the statistics and the ways we slice information that says that it's about black and white. It's about people choosing or not choosing to do loser and winner things. And that, yeah, that lie, that picture that's painted, that um prevents us from seeing what actually happened. So yeah, that I didn't get a sense of that until I was more in high school, but I still saw it from a perspective of distance. Like I could see the how it was functioning, but it didn't have anything to do with me. I thought.
talk about a high level defense mechanism there. I mean, it's kind of impressive. Like, I've never heard a story like this before, really. Like, like that's, you know, I think the closest thing for me is like my own story about being gay. Like, I did the same thing, I separated myself somehow, I segmented myself, partitioned my mind.
Yeah.
And, yeah, until the right moment. Luckily, I was just sitting on a bed. I didn't have to get knocked into a wall. But yeah, cool. Wow. I mean, how can you so easily share this? Like, like what make because so many people seem to have a very hard time with it, being this open, being this vulnerable, speaking about their past self, who they no longer even care to like be associated with their own selves, but yet you're talking about it, like, and so
Yeah.
what makes it so comfortable for you? You're comfortable with it. I can see it. So like, and so
Yeah.
am I, so am I. I tell you about my past self. So like, what do you think? What is it like? What is it about us? Do you think that we need to share with other people to make other people okay with being comfortable with their own flaws, with their own lack of perfection, with their own fallibility?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was all of I mean, I feel like it's all the ego. Like I go again back to the white men who kind of reinforced this notion that I was different. And what came of that was that I'm very confident in who I am and my humanity. Like that developed independent of my understanding of Blackness. That I am a person, that what I say matters, that I know how to use logic and reason things through, that I'm capable. I'm like, you know, as much as I want to be, that anything that I could do, that I wanted to do, that I put my mind to, I could do. And so all of those things, the confidence, the confidence of a mediocre white man, is instilled in me so hardcore. Like, and I'm made of surfer dudes and business guys that are just infinitely convinced of their capability, and so am I. And so somebody says you're Black, you can't be that, or tries to throw some statistics at me. Well, like, thankfully I haven't killed anybody. Like, I'm unconcerned with this information that has nothing to do with me. So being able to kind of stand apart from that in the first place, and growing up in that environment where I felt like I was set apart, didn't when it all crashed down, it didn't put me back in it. It didn't make me have the weight of all of those things that they said about people. It didn't make me take it on in a new way that I hadn't my entire life. So I don't have to. I'm still a person. I'm a lot of things. When people talk about identity politics, I'm many things, and there's a message for each of the things that I am. As a marketer, there's something that speaks to each aspect of who I am. And so I'm not defined solely by that piece. I'm confident in my humanity. And so that, and also, the way that it hurt, to come undone, to encounter the reality and realize who I had been and how I had been. It makes me able to be vulnerable, because it matters, because my being able to share my story, and being able to be honest about who I've been and how I was convinced of a lie, and probably better at it than a lot of the folks online, still convinced of it, who I encounter. Like, I was deeper in. I had reasoned it through. I had intellectualized it to a level. I don't think everybody's doing it at the same level, and I really dug in, was very convinced of what I believe. So being on the other side of that, and never wanting to do it again and being so adamant about what that was, makes me want to be open. It makes me want to invite people in rather than smashing them down with what I know.
I think the key is knowing yourself well. Once you have that foundation of knowing yourself, it really can't be shaken. And it's kind of funny to watch people try sometimes because
Yeah.
I'm sure you've experienced that when someone's trying to get under your skin or something, and you're just like, it's
Nah.
yeah, it's just like it can't. It's never gonna work. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I feel sad for some of these people on social media sometimes, just trying to hurt you so bad. They're desperate, to feel better than you, to feel superior, to feel like they know something you don't. And I'm just like, I don't care about any of that. I mean, you could, if you knew something I didn't know, I'd be happy.
Right.
So
Give it to me.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
funny, and the aspersions that people cast on you and try to pretend like this is who you are. It's like, you just met me literally 15 seconds ago.
You don't know anything
What?
about me.
Yeah. So yeah, social media and the internet in general, for me, it's just not where it's at. I am not interested in building it up there. I think that there
Yeah.
are hard limitations to the work that I'm trying to do with an online platform where people can keep their distance,
Yeah.
and shut it down at any time, and just, I need to lock them in a room. I'm gonna lock y'all in a room with me and force you on stage. That's what we're gonna do, and I'll buy you
Yeah.
dinner and drinks if you engage well. So that's the plan.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think that a while ago I was benefiting and I was learning a lot. I was hearing a lot of people's perspective. But I think that people have kind of um, protected themselves with rhetoric, and people don't even have to think about the ways that they're responding, and they're full of attacks, and they're full of things that they haven't considered for themselves, in order to protect themselves from feeling like somebody won online, um, which is absurd to me because my life is good. I don't need to win
That's the
online.
thing. It's
There's no
like,
prizes.
what are y'all winning? What do you think you're winning here? It's very weird to me. I'm like, what kind of life are you living that you believe that what happens here is somehow meaningful? In any other way than we're just having an exchange, We're not even, we're
Yeah.
barely, and that's barely, we're typing
Yeah,
to
not
each
very
other.
much at all.
Right. So I don't know. People's understanding of what is reality and what is fantasy, it has become very blurred, and so we're
Yeah,
in chaos territory for sure. But the cure, community, building
absolutely.
community,